Consider this. Here in the United States, we comprise about 4% of the world's population, yet we consume about 25% of the world's energy. Of that, about 40% is domestic oil, but the remaining 60% is all imported from countries that range from unfriendly to often hostile. It's a volatile situation that many believe could quickly go from bad to worse. Our Brian Bindley sat down with the former director of the CIA, James Woolsey, to talk about our energy needs and its impact on our national security.
Well, Mr. Woolsey, let's talk a little bit about what the actual state of our foreign oil and our foreign dependency on oil is exactly right now.
We are in a situation where increasingly the world, I think for many years, is going to be turning to the Persian Gulf for its oil supplies. And that's a very unstable part of the world. Then you have the fact that we borrow $320 billion a year to import oil. That is nearly $1 billion every calendar day. To give you some idea of what we might be able to do if we could have just a quarter of that, $80 billion a year, come from Oklahoma, the Midwest, come from switchgrass, biofuels, renewable diesel from animal waste and so on, but produced in rural America. Net farm income in the U.S. last year was just under $80 billion. So effectively you replace a quarter of our imported oil with products from rural America, and you essentially double net farm income. That's not bad. Replace half of them and you triple net farm income. Iogen in Canada is starting to produce ethanol from cellulosic biomass from wheat straw. These are areas in which the Wright brothers have already flown. The technology has already been invented. What we're talking about is getting the cost down, getting up the learning curve as we go into different production methods, that we make sure we don't have the same thing happen that happened in the mid-'80s and then again in the late '90s. Saudis took the price of oil down to $5 a barrel in the mid-'80s, bankrupted the Synfuels Corporation, and effectively undercut all the other producers and discouraged a lot of competitors. Did something similar in the late '90s. So investors have to be assured that if they're investing in, say, ethanol or butanol plants, cellulosic, that probably would be quite competitive with oil products if oil stays up at $30, $35 a barrel.
Where does that leave our relations in the foreign market?
Well, some of the countries that now just pump oil and don't do anything else in their economies are going to have to get work. They're going to have to do what the Japanese do and the Israelis do, which is to have a perfectly fine functioning economy even without substantial natural resources.
So the key is just to get active with these new fuels, these renewable energies, and just make it happen.
I think it is. I think it's to push hard on things like renewable diesel, on cellulosic ethanol, butanol, which has more energy content than ethanol and looks like it can be used in pipelines more readily than ethanol. So it's, and plug-in hybrids, new battery technology to make those more and more efficient all the time. We need to push on all of those and push hard, not just do R&D, but get moving. Realize we're in a war, a long-term war with terrorism in the Middle East, and the more we have to rely on that part of the world, the more the other oil importers have to rely on that part of the world, the more at risk they are.
Now we continue our conversation with James Woolsey on our website. To hear more from the former CIA director, just head to okhorizon.com and click on Value Added.